We're joined by Jeffrey Rosen, President and CEO of the National Constitution Center. Mr. Rosen, thank you very much for being here. You are my go-to for all constitutional questions. I frequent the website on a regular basis. And I'm curious, from your perspective here, to hear the Supreme Court Justice comment on a to and fro in the political world. How significant is that?
It's extremely significant. Chief Justice Roberts rarely weighs in. He's done this twice before when he rebuked President Trump and Senator Chuck Schumer for attacking the judiciary. And it's so significant that in his statement, Chief Justice Roberts said that for more than 200 years, there's been a bipartisan consensus that it's not appropriate to call for the impeachment of judges when you disagree with them. He was referring to the sole impeachment of a Supreme Court justice, that of Justice Samuel Chase in 1804. Justice Chase was a partisan. He was drunk on the bench. There was all sorts of reasons to impeach him, but he was acquitted. And that established the principle that you can't impeach judges just because you disagree with them. And Chief Justice Roberts' hero is Chief Justice John Marshall. John Marshall thought that if Chase had been convicted, the independence of the rule of law would have been thwarted for the next, century. So Chief Justice Roberts cares more about this than about anything. That's why his statement is so significant. And that's why it's so important to give bipartisan support to his idea that you can't impeach judges just because you disagree with them.
Let's talk about that independence of the rule of law. What does this say or signal about our checks and balances system?
Well, the checks and balances system is entirely dependent on the nonpartisan legitimacy of the judiciary. Unless you can have judges neutrally evaluating whether or not the president or Congress have stayed outside their lane, then the president can encroach on the powers of the other branches, or he can throw people in jail because he doesn't like them. I mean, that's the definition of a tyranny, that the president can just undermine the rule of law because he doesn't like people. And that's why many people think that independent judges and the separation of powers are the hallmark of American constitutionalism, and that's why it's so important that judges not be impeached because you disagree with them.
It seems like every day there's a new ruling. There are a lot of legal challenges to things the Trump administration's doing. And you always hear this phrase, unconstitutional. But if you read the Constitution, none of these modern terms or cases are brought up. So just explain for a lay audience what the judges are doing when they declare something constitutional or unconstitutional.
Great question. Well, you said you go to the Constitution Center website, constitutioncenter.org, and I hope all viewers will. It shows that there are generally good arguments on both sides of many cases involving the Constitution, but ultimately judges decide whether or not a law passed by Congress or an action by the president comports with the Constitution or not. And because the Constitution is our supreme law, if the president tries to throw someone in jail because he doesn't like them, but the Constitution says you have to have due process of law, then judges say the president has to obey the law. And similarly, if Congress passes a law saying you can deport someone because you don't like their political opinions, the court might say, no, the First Amendment doesn't allow that law to be passed, and therefore it has to be struck down. So that's the basic idea. The Constitution is the supreme law. The president and Congress just pass statutes, but they have to comport with the Constitution. And whenever there's a clash between what the Constitution says and what the president and Congress are trying to do, then the Constitution wins.
There really is a great website at the National Constitution Center. There will be conservative readings of things. There'll be more liberal readings of things. There'll be past case results. It's a really great resource to begin people down the journey of what's really going on here.
Yeah, we're all getting up to speed on this issue. Jeffrey, thank you so much.